guys again, and today guys I'm here to do another anime review, and my review is to Tales of Zestiria Season 2 Episode 6 guys. So let's get into it. So guys, in this episode of Tales of Zestiria, gotta say this, completely anime original. Literally, all this episode was anime original. Now, actually, just a minute. Looks like my camera's a bit unbalanced. Let me see if you can do that. That's bad. That's sorry, it looked a bit unbalanced. Anyway, yes, guys, this episode was completely anime original. The reason why it's quite obvious from the. We already knew that this season, Ufotable, when we're making the anime series, it's going to turn anime original. But I've got to say this episode was very, completely, 100% anime original. Because first up, there was, of course, we got the elements. Like, it's obviously the elements are going to stay in there. There's no such thing, even from a freaking anime original content that is based from original series, or game, or anything, or like original source. Obviously, there's always going to be some elements from that. So we can't include them. But the entire aspect of the episode was anime original. But I've got to say this. I didn't say it was bad. This anime original stuff, I wish was in the game. Because it makes it a lot more realistic. And actually would make the game even more intense. For example, I think it got mentioned in the game, but I feel like they didn't really aspect it that much in the game. And there's that, after making a squire contract with someone, after Shepherd makes a squire contract with a person, if the Shepherd ever dies, the squire would also die. And in the game, even though there's revival bottles, there's revival potions, like if you ever get technically killed in the game, you can double get switch between characters. You can control different characters while fighting. You can change to different characters. That means, of course, until before you actually classify as defeated, all the characters that are available to fight right now have to die. Until they all die, then you classify as instant defeated. But, and this is a big but, like I said, there's revival bottles. There's a revival bottles that can revive you, so it's quite obvious. But then, when we got this information that if the shepherd dies, the squire will die. And that is the thing. In game, that never occurred. That actually never occurred. Like, I think it got mentioned before about the squire contract, I might be wrong. Even though I played the game, I only played it once, all the way through. Like, I was trying to complete the game. I actually try to find information from as much as I can. Like, I was actually trying to find information as I can. But yet again, I have been mostly trying to focus completing the story. But yet again, trying to find elements as I can also in the game. Because I actually do want to learn vital information from individual games I play. But there was like this element. I think we got told about, like I said in the game, that if the shepherd either dies, the squire will die. But that's what I think that the game didn't do. Is that once the actual shepherd died, like once we actually died controlling the shepherd, or IL, like when it's controlled not by you but by the computer, when he ever dies, surprisingly, it's mostly Rose, but even Alicia, they both did not die. And they were able to fight still. And that's why I feel like could have made the game a bit more exciting actually, that you now know if you die, well, your freaking squire will die with you. And that means you have also a lower chance of winning. Like, you have a low chance of completing the game if they kept that element in. Of course, like I said, they could still also keep the element of you're able to control multiple characters, and also until all those died, they could die, but you were classed as defeated. But that's what I'm thinking that could have made the game more interesting, because that means we desperately also need to perk up more potions when it comes to revival potions. Like, we definitely know we have to keep getting more of those. Because I think what I noticed in game, until near the end section, I of course needed a lot of revival potions. I had to max them out so I'm able to fight and also get a lot of food, potions. Like, I needed to get a lot of that against when I was facing the final boss. Like, I needed a lot of them. Lucky I was able to get a lot of them and able to defeat them. But what could have made it a lot harder, literally what could have made it a lot harder, is that near the beginning part and the middle part of the game, that we had to start from there. The reason why it could have made it a lot more harder, but yet again, a bit more exciting, is that we need to think about, it could have made us get the idea of strategizing more in the game, and by doing that, they could have even made the boss level even harder. But by doing that from the beginning, we could have actually understand how hard the next level would be. And by doing that, it could have made the game even more interesting. Like, finding different elements that I've seen in the anime compared to the game, I do prefer how the anime is doing things. But there are still, of course, elements I do wish the anime is still following. Now, that's something I was I'm actually glad they're adding, that the element that if the shepherd ever dies, the squire will die with them. Because it makes logical sense. If you ever make a spiritual contract with someone, it's quite obvious that means you're going to be spiritually connected. That means if you either feel pain or if you ever share a lifespan, you of course, if the main source dies, you will die with them. It makes logical sense if that ever could. I'm just surprised the game didn't do that. But the anime, I'm glad that I did, because that means it gives the characters the more idea of why they should not sacrifice themselves. Because I believe that even though at points you should sacrifice yourself, it does give you the element of thinking that I should not really try to sacrifice myself, because if you do it, because there are consequences by sacrificing yourself. If you try to sacrifice yourself, a lot of consequences that people that know you will be sad that you died. Like, they will be sad. Like, they'll be desperately sad that you died. And you don't want to have that kind of feeling on the people that care about you. That's the problem about sacrificing yourself. That's what's going to end up affecting people. So I'm glad they added it in to make sure it's going to be a hard choice for Saray to sacrifice himself. Because he knows that if you try to sacrifice himself, not just Rose would die, or Alicia would die, because she formed a squire contact with him, but that other people would end up missing him dearly. Like, especially the Seraphim. Like, they knew, Lyla and Mikolo, Dezel, and Diane, they would all miss him. Even though, Diane doesn't show it, she does care about Saray as well. So, I do wish, I do like this element being narrated, that this will help them out. So, and that if Saray ever dies, and this will give Saray a character development to know that he should not sacrifice himself to protect other people, because he knows by doing that he is actually not protecting many people at all. He's not protecting people because Rose would die in along with Alicia. Now, another thing that was anime original, this part was not really anime original. It was something that the anime original thing did for it to influence more than the game did. But I digress. Now, here's another thing that happened in the anime that was anime original, and that was the reason why Pendrago malevolence. What caused the malevolence? In game, it was a character, she was a main boss in the game. It was a main boss in the game. And she was a queen. I think she was a queen. She was the queen of Roland and the king Pendrago, the princess of Pendrago, the queen of Pendrago. I think that was her. I think that was her full title. I might be wrong, but yeah, it was a female, and she was the main cause of the malevolence. In the anime, it ends up being a dead dragon. And if you guys know from last season of Tales, now or even play the game, You should guys know by now, dragons are what seraphim turn into. And this is when they're fully controlled by malevolence. This is 100% that they're controlled by malevolence, and that you know how deadly and powerful. Because don't forget, like Diana's own brother was controlled by malevolence and turned to a dragon. So and we should also know that even malevolence still carries on even after death. And this is what happened to this dragon. And I don't know why, but it seems like the Pope was keeping that secret. Like, why were they keeping a secret about the reason why the malevolence was causing was this dragon? What? This is a question I want this answered. That I know the anime game never did this, because that's why I'm really curious. First reason, why did I not want anyone to know about this? Like, that the reason why malevolence got caught was because of this dead dragon. Like, why did they have to keep that secret? I feel like this is something they should have revealed. Like, this is quite obvious that they should have revealed that there was a dragon there to begin with. Like, everybody should know that. So why do you want to keep this dragon a secret? Is it against the wall or something? I don't know. That's something I want to know. Why did this dragon occur? Why did you want to keep it secret? Now, another thing that happened in the anime, that is also going to be anime original. Like, from next episode, it's going to be anime original, and the problem is with Alicia. I don't think, like, got mentioned last few episodes as well, that the shepherd has the capability of communicating with his squires from long distances. Like, he has that capability. In the game, that doesn't happen. Actually, also in the game, Saray can actually cancel his contract with his squire, and that's what happened with Alicia. Alicia decided to cancel their squire contract only because that Alicia had to stay behind protecting Lady Lake. She had to defend. She had to defend and her and be the princess, of course. So that's the main reason why they had to cancel their contract. But in the anime, they stayed in that. They still got their contract. They still got their contract as shepherd and squire. She still has a contract. I'm still wondering why did not the game do that, because it's actually quite vital in a way. That means Alicia could still fight. Actually, she could still be very powerful if she still had her squire abilities. But yeah. That was the thing. Now, the conflict that Alicia is going through right now, it got mentioned in the game, but it didn't fully occur in the game. Like, the middle exec, she pretty much succeeded all by herself. So in a way, in the anime, they're making Alicia weaker than she was in the game. Like, I'm actually surprised, because there was a lot of elements in the game that she was strong. In the anime, I think they're making her a teeny bit weaker than she was in the game. Like, I think that would be the case. Now, one thing I got to say. Now, and that's what will occur in the next episode. That after she got contract with Saray, after purifying the dragon, with Rose now has finally have a squire contract with Zestiria as well. And another thing that was anime original as well, the time and place and location that occurred that made Rose have a contract with Zestiria to become a squire. Because in game, they were of course gonna have a squire contract. But here's what's anime original about this. That Rose, first up, she was not fucking scared. Like, I remember in the game when she got a squire contract, she was like, she was scared, but she was terrified when she was able to see like Saray, like able to see all the seraphim. Like, I remember in the game, she was terrified with spiritual ghost-like creatures around. Even the seraphim she was scared of. In the anime, they made her more badass. Like she wasn't as scared. Like, they're props to make her look more badass. But again, I wish they kept that anime because it made her look more cute than she in the game she was. But this while like I'm actually glad that they and just saying and the location, like I said, the location where with Rose, like when they made a contract with Rose, this this location that we're in, like this thing in the game, they were in the Scarabones' hideout. They were in the one of the old hideouts of the Scarabones. This is where they end up making a contract because it was like a tomb in the. They were inside. Their hiding base was a tomb, and while Saray was going through the out of the parts of the tomb that the Scarabones didn't go through, they ended up finding some more malevolence. Like he ended up finding another, I think, a dog seraphim. To feel like we ever gonna see that seraphim again in the anime, because I actually like that seraphim, because we don't know that animals can be seraphims as well. And finding this dog seraphim, that was interesting, and he was like controlled by members or something in that point of the game. And I don't know if that's gonna be spoiler territory, because it could actually happen again in the anime. But there was a dog, and this is when Rose, and unfortunately it was very powerful, and Saray couldn't do it alone. So he had to form a contract with Rose, and Rose got a contract with Saray and became a squire. And yeah, she got scared at the whiffs of what was going on, but yeah, it was quite funny. But yet again, she had the courage to fight. So, and yeah, but that's what the difference between the anime and the game when Rose got a squire contract. And I don't know, I prefer the game where she got like the squire contract, because it made it more made her actually had more character development. Like they actually gave her a lot of character development, like when she became a squire. In this one, it gave her character development, but not as much as the game did. I got to say that. Like I think the game made it more like she had more character development in the game when it came to the contract with Saray and becoming a squire. But one character development I do feel like she gave her, it gave that Rose she will accept the consequences of becoming a squire, because she knows she will end up dying along with Saray, and also carrying the same burden as Saray, and also giving Saray more burden as well, because he will cause he gets every time he makes a contract with either with Sheriff or Squires, he ends up getting something of a burden which she ends up accepting and understands, and yeah, she becomes a squire. But yeah, it does give her a character development through that. Overall, I got to say, I do enjoy this. Like I said, there's points in the anime like I do wish they could have kept it how the game would have done. But like I said, the entire series is going to be anime original, and so far I'm liking it. I'm really liking how the anime original content is doing. And yeah, now animation quality. Oh my god, I loved it, especially at one point when he actually used 3D animation. That's what it looked like to me. I might be wrong, but there was at one point in the anime, this episode, they used 3D animation. But surprisingly, it caught me, like, I didn't even know, I had to, like, look closer, and it looked like 3D animation to me. There was a point when Saray, Rose, Dezel, and Lila, and Mikolo were running into the, church, running into the church to find out what's causing malevolence, and when the point when they're entering with the door, that looked like the characters like Mikolo, Rose, Dezel, Lila, Saray, they were like all, and Dezel, they looked all like they were in 3D, and I was like, ooh. Like, I was surprised I could see ufotable, and in a way, even though it looked 3D, it didn't look too bad. Like, we know that 3D animation is, no offense, anime does not do well with 3D animation unless the entire game itself is in 3D. If the entire game itself is, like, the entire location is CGI and 3D, then it would make a bit more better effects. But when it comes to 2D and in 3D animation, it does make it look bad. But I got to say this, when they used it, surprisingly, it looked good. They didn't look bad, which I'm glad they did. And actually, I'm glad that the entire series is going to have a lot of CGI in as well, and make the 3D looking good as well. And I'm glad they added it in, because it made it, give us elements to the game as well, because the game is in 3D, so I'm glad they added that. And yeah, overall the animation looked fine. I don't think I really saw any proper problems. Like I said, the other way you would know that at one point it was in 3D if you paid attention and looked closely. So I'm giving props for that. Good job on you Photoball. And yeah, that's all I've got to say. Alright guys, that's my anime review to Tales of Zestiria Season 2 Episode 6. Hope you guys like it. Contract fans, stay in guys on the FML, comment section down below. My understand. Yeah. Hope you guys like it. Comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys there. Bye guys.